How's it going, ladies and bruises? I'm Bobby Sixkilla, and welcome to the demo for a game called Gamedec. Now, this one was pointed out to me by a friend of the channel and subscriber, Orkbold. You may have seen him in our Discord server. This is a game that seems to style itself in a similar vein to Disco Elysium. It seems to be an investigative, primarily an investigative game, but with a huge amount of divergent paths and choice-based gameplay, supposedly. Which, you know, if that's true, I'm sold. I thought I'd read this welcome screen to you. The case you're about to play is a small part of the game. It may have different outcomes depending on the decisions you make during the playthrough. Gamedec, like classic tabletop RPGs, gives you the freedom to approach situations from multiple angles rather than forcing a single situation. Remember, you are the sum of your choices. Now it's time to buckle down and get to work, detective. This sounds great. And apparently it's coming out soon, although there's no actual date of release. But you know, if this demo looks great, you know we're going to be covering it on the channel. And you know I love me some Disco Elysium. I don't know if it's exactly like Disco Elysium, but you know, that sort of investigative gameplay. And that Disco Elysium didn't have a huge amount of divergent paths. Like, there's a lot of ways to approach things, but it all ran together at the end, you know? Should I be reading this? Detective, I'm glad you answered. Listen, I need your help, and it's not the kind of talk we can have over the telesense. We better don't leave any traces on the net. Meet me on the sidewalks in Low City, near Old Yet's Den. You know where. This time your character has a certain background and decisions made. Some paths based on these choices will therefore be unavailable. Yes, I see. Alright, so what do? We have codex, we have professions. Glazier, programmer, Radic system supervisor. Meet with Urza near the bar. Okay. Where's this Urza? Over here. One of these people. Cornelia. This man, this Urza Onai, was his name? Yes, Urza Onai. He's dead. Nothing will change that. I understand, Captain. What you need to understand is that closing the case like this will reflect badly on our organization. That's neither your business nor responsibility, Sergeant Dahlia. The man was interrupted by a voice coming from the communicator. Graphics are nice. Captain, there's a doctor here. His name is Pax. He wants to... What? You don't need that dipshit here. Sergeant Dahlia. We'll return to this later. I'm coming, Rama. The Art Ranger looked at me angrily. We don't let civilians in. Move along, please. Not available in demo. There's a lot of that. Threaten? I want to threaten. So you're a Gamedec. I'm a Gamedec. What do I care? She paused and looked at me for a while. Hey, you're the one that got this kid out. Who was he? The son of some BWI big shot? I've heard good things about you. You can come in. The outrager frantically flipped through the data on the infolia. She didn't pay attention to me. Ask about Urza's death? Urza Onai's death. What's your hypothesis? Why? Did you hear the story the captain is trying to push down our throats? That beacon bullshit? Ask why she thinks it's bullshit. Why do you think it's bullshit? Because it doesn't add up, and even if, and I can't stress this enough, even if it did, it would be damn harmful to us. Why is it harmful? Harmful? How come? Who's responsible for the maintenance of these beacons? We are. If it turns out we overlooked a glitch, we're screwed. Ask why it doesn't add up. What exactly doesn't add up about the hypothesis? Well, for one, the beacon logs are empty, and of course the report doesn't even mention this. Ask whether the captain is obstructing the investigation? Are you suggesting that the captain is deliberately obstructing the investigation? The woman's face turned grey. She made a quick hand gesture, as if she were brushing dust off her armor. Ask about her hypothesis. So what do you think happened? He was shot, that's certain, but not by a beacon. A human did this. You flew here with an entire unit. Is there anything I should know about it? I wouldn't call us a unit yet. We need to work some things out, and I'm not sure we ever will. So far it's a group of mavericks. The drone operator is a spoiled kid in a crazy expensive gen skin. The captain struggles with his own demons, and then there's Tancred. The captain's demons? What do you mean when you said the captain struggles with his own demons? It's just a hunch, but it seems that he's struggling between his duty and emotions. No, not like that. Genskin? The drone operator is using an expensive Genskinner. Can Outrangers even use those? They can. It's actually safer that way, and yes, it's terribly expensive. I've never seen one like it before. I'll send you an article. Your name is Cornelia Dahlia. Quite peculiar. What's it to you, pal? I didn't choose my name, or my surname. It's from the Rejuvenation era. I guess it's fine, but I hate Cornelia. It was my grandmother's name. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Deduction. What do we got here? Gunshot hypothesis. I see. Somebody shot Urza while he was hanging around near Yeti's coming. Urza shot himself? No one shot anyone. Okay. We need a lot more information than that to go on. Who else is there to talk to? Oh, what do we got here? Beowulf. The Outranger's vehicle. They must have arrived in it. Look through the window? The Outrangers have their quirks. For one, they adore fresh air, so the windows in their vehicles are always half open. They also dislike circuitry, so I wasn't surprised to see an ignition slot. The key was missing though. The driver must have had it. On the pilot seat, I found a familiar box made of steel. A trophy case. Every kid knows what they look like. The window was slightly lowered, so I managed to reach into the cabin and feel the box on my hand. It was closed with a latch. Break the lock. I pried it open as they did in the old Hollow movies. Something clicked. The lights in the box lit up and the alarm went off. Unauthorized de-encapsulation attempt detected. Warning, possible environmental contamination. Content decontamination procedure initiated. The box hissed as if it were making a cocktail. The indicators lit up and I heard the muffled sound of an explosion coming from inside. If there was any evidence inside, I must have destroyed it. Well, shit. The garbage can was fixed in plastic concrete as if saying, I'll stay here forever. Inspect. It was filled with cheap game pill packages, disposable drug dispensers and bottom shelf liquor bottles. Don't think about it. Search it. I put my arm deep inside the sea of waste, some leftovers from overcooked dumplings stuck to my sleeve. Not only did I not find anything useful, but the wet dough left a greasy stain and a bad smell. Fun. Is there someone else to talk to around here? These guys? Get the fuck out of here, I'm in charge here, and I forbid it. Leave me alone, man, I work here too. Try to calm them down? Gentlemen, this is hardly the place. A man's body is lying in the rain like a pile of garbage. Get a hold of yourselves. Yeah, alright, I hear you. But if it weren't for the body... Pax, got it? Thank you, ma'am. Whoever you are, this nutjob almost destroyed my Metapod. He does indeed sound like a nutjob. A well-built man was loitering on the sidewalk and giving the doctor menacing looks. Introduce yourself. My name is Gamedec. I'm a Gamedec. Just what we need, a Gamedec. Who let you in? I'm a Gamedec and I have a right to be here. If you have any doubts, check them against the regulations. The man narrowed his eyes. Who doesn't love losing control of the situation? A wonderful feeling. How did Urza die? Ezra, sorry. However terrible it may sound, it seems that an MCC beacon mistook him for some kind of bat and fired at him. You and the doctor seem very conflicted. The man snorted, clenched his fist, and metal parts of his glove creaked. You think so? Where'd you get that from? I heard your argument. The man nodded. Pax and I have a history, and it's not one with a happy ending. I'd rather he left. Why do you want Dr. Pax to leave? The man frowns and shuffles his armored boots. He brings back some painful memories. Maybe I can help you somehow. He tilted his head and sized me up. You? And how would you do that? There you go, one of my skills. I used to be a glacier. I'm pretty skilled when it comes to technology. Interesting, but no, you can't help me. He looked to the side. I saw a red neon light reflecting in his eyes. By the way, on a completely unrelated note, there's a Metabot hanging around. It pisses me off. I'd be over the moon if it finally broke down. I have no idea why I just said that. So you and Pax, what happened? The man rubbed his eyebrows and sighed. It was a little over a year ago. Our unit was on patrol duty behind the ABB. My husband, Michael, was with us. There weren't many dangerous species in that area except for insects. They're everywhere. Michael, the man looked down and grunted. He swallowed and straightened. A gadfly bit his neck. Hypoderma bovis toxica. They got really swollen, so we quickly evacuated. Then an ambulance arrived. And Pax was in it. He was arrogant and confident. The fool said it wasn't a gadfly, but a Brazilian wandering spider that had lost his fucking pedipalp. What's a pedipalp? Each spider has two. They're part of the mouth. They plunge them into their victims and inject digestive juices. Despite our protests, Pax ordered decapitation to save Michael's life. He lost his body because of that moron. Now he's an involuntary zero net. Keeping his head alive costs a fortune, and we can't afford to regenerate his body. It's too expensive. With one decision unsupported by any evidence, this prick turned our life into a nightmare. The man cleared his throat. So yeah, our history, my friend. Not a happy ending for me, and since we don't see a way out. Well, never mind. I'm sorry, Captain, but shouldn't the Outrangers try to divert suspicion away from the beacon? What are you implying, girlie? Alright, fine, I'll let it go. I need access to the body. I'd like to take a look at it. I have more important things to worry about, dear. Say that you've known Ezra. Captain, for me, this isn't just an assignment. I've known Ezra and I for years. If it were your teammate lying on the sidewalk, would you give up the investigation? No, girl, there are boundaries. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, so no. I need access to your drone. Do you now? And I need access to an anti-gravity shower and some good tea. And you know what, Gamedec? I won't get that either. So that, oh yeah, here we go family. See the body soaked on the sidewalk? He had parents, you know. What would you say to his mother? That you'd like some good tea? I don't know what I'd say. And don't bother with guilt trips. She isn't here, is she? And what does that say about her? About that Pax guy? Nothing. I guess we're done here. An outranger was leaning over Ezra's body. He was paling, clearly disgusted. Is there a way I could convince you to let me examine this body? Did you hit your head or something? It's a corpse, and I'm an officer on duty. Ever heard of regulations? Want me to face disciplinary actions? Everybody needs something, right? I'm a Gamedec. Let me see the body. I could do something for you. Well, that changes everything. In that case, I got a quest for you. You need to go to the 100-acre wood and get me 3 Ent acorns. What should I do with these acorns once I find them? I don't know, cook them? Shove them up your ass? Do whatever the fuck you want, just stop bugging me. Fuck me, the city's getting weirder by the day. Time to go back to the jungle. I leaned in to get a closer look at the body. When I reached toward it, an outranger grabbed my hand. Keep your hands to yourself, civilian. This is a crime scene. Move along and let us do our job. Gain access to the body. What is it? Maybe the beacon misfired. Does that happen? No, they use artificial intelligence, way smarter than humans. A person can make a mistake, but a beacon? No chance. Believe me, I designed them myself. How do the beacons work, in general? They scan their surroundings, looking for a new plant and animal species. If a beast comes close, they shoot. These here have a special task. If anything tries to fly or crawl up to the lowest inhabited walkway, beacons have to shoot it down while adhering to safety measures. People live here. There are 2 dangerous species around these parts, a toxic fruit bat, a seriously big bastard, and the Rattus mordax, venenatus rat. The rats got clever and stopped trying to climb up. The bats are dumber and charge sometimes, so the beacons shot one down. They shoot one down occasionally. They fire plasma, that's why there isn't much blood. Blood's no good, trust me. It tracks a shitload of trouble outside the ABB, and honestly it ruins the view here, so you get it. The victim supposedly had an anti-G harness on. Where is it? They say the captain took it off and secured it, but I didn't see that happen. It's probably in Beowulf. The man lying here, Ezra and I, how do you think he died? I know what it looks like. Bat wings, the undercity below us. The captain was here first and took the anti-G harness off him. That's what he claims at least. I didn't see it, but trust me, it's not the beacon that killed him. It must have been a weird, very weird incident. I don't know. I can't make anything of it. This death must be a damn misunderstanding. And the sight is just inhuman. It's disgraceful that he's still here on the wet walkway like a bag of human bones. And find out how Ezra died. How do we do that? Oh, what do we got here? Is that a camera? Mutation Control Center Beacon. What a zeitgeist. An AI-equipped guard that protects us from mutated plants and animals. Hack it. City network access helps with this kind of thing. Realistic systems admin credentials help too. I had to find the right name. I scouted the data in a search of signatures that fit the beacon. A few caught my eye. I entered the name and got the Metabot's frequency. To reset it, I had to overload its systems. And to do that, I need adequate network resources. Credentials sure were useful. I hoped I'd done everything right. At that point, it seemed so. It worked. I had access to the beacon. I tried to move the beacon. Nothing. I tried to change the device view, but it didn't look right. I must have entered the wrong beacon name. I must have entered the technical name incorrectly. I was hacking the wrong device. You dumbass. Alright, let's try this one. Nothing, nothing. It's the wrong one again. Alright, let's try the last name. That one? Check beacon systems. Here we go. I opened the system panel. Fire a test shot. I thought the shot would be louder. The outranger started moving toward the beacon. Holy fuck, what was that? Not sure, I think it was the beacon. Urza's corpse wasn't guarded. Now this is my chance. The dead body is a terrible sight. It's a memory of someone who once lived, a hideous, untrue, fake memory. The guy's face, as if carved from plastic, was pressed against the wet pavement like a strange, silent object. The gaze of his open eyes was angled unnaturally. Nobody's face should lie on the ground like that. The face of a corpse, maybe, because it's no longer a person. Ezra. I leaned closer. I rummaged through his pockets. He had no personal items on him, not even a walk towel. Inspect chest. I didn't learn any more than I already knew. His arms and legs were splayed awkwardly. It's like he'd been doing some weird mid-air stunts before hitting the ground. Roll up sleeve? Looked like he'd been struck by lightning, but the marks were off. I rubbed my eyes and looked at another of Urza's arms. Nothing. I was confused. Pant leg? The calf was clean, no bruising. I checked the other leg and it was the same. Ezra's pant leg smoothly slid down, covering up the cold, exposed body. Inspect the head? The sideways facing eyes had lost any expression or gleam. They resembled those of a poorly designed NPC. The face, pulled taut by the sidewalk, looked to be smiling blasphemously. Mouth? I had an inexplicable hunch, parted his lips and put 2 fingers in his mouth. A stiff tongue, dry saliva. I shuddered. There was nothing else in there. Flipped the body. He bobbed his head and was about to collide with the pavement. I noticed something flashing immediately behind it. I released one of his shoulders and grabbed his head, saving it from hitting the ground. I finished turning him over and slowly put his head on the ground. Only then did I glance toward the flash, but there was no sign of it. There was a bloody note in his coat, and his back too, it seemed. Is that it? Look for an exit wound. Modern firearms produce enough kinetic force to blast straight through a person, easily. I reached out to touch Ezra's chest area. I retracted my hand, freshly smeared with blood, and wiped it off the guy's coat. He was my friend, but he didn't mind. Is that it? Oh no. Look for a bullet. I slid my hand under Ezra's chest again. I felt the cracks in the pavement under the exit wound. I pulled out a metal object. I tore it from the pavement and took a closer look. It was a bullet. Not much blood, just a few stains that looked like splatter. Suspiciously little, considering it went straight through him. What else is there? Is that it? What do we got here? MCC beacon hypothesis. Ezra was flying above low city walkways using an anti-G harness. He was carrying an Ilgen that was generating an image of membranous wings. An MCC beacon mistook him for a bat and shot him down. I have to pick which one is likely, I guess. Had a gunshot wound to the chest. It fires plasma. There was a bullet. Nonsense. We got another one missing. Gunshot hypothesis. What do we got? Someone shot Ezra while he was hanging around near Yeti's coming. Surprising little blood from the wound. There's a gunshot wound in Ezra's chest. Ezra was lying down when the shot was fired. The bullet pierced the body and got stuck in the walkway. Small caliber. The shot was fired after Ezra's death. That's most likely. Accident hypothesis. He fell? Alright, we need more information. I feel like he was shot after he was killed, though, because of the fact that he was lying down when he was shot. The old tourist terminal looked ridiculous here. Where were these people supposed to go? To a different polis? To Gaia? I wonder what the piece of junk could offer people from the lowest layer of polis. Welcome. Please note that the tourist console belongs to the city Reistic Systems. The offer presented by this device is outdated. Feel free to use the holo screen standing alongside it to get the latest information, including on tourism. Okay. Nothing here then. The offer presented by the device is outdated. Cool. Alright, is there more people to talk to over here then? We talked to the captain, we talked to you. What about these fellas and this giant ass robot? Okay, can you tell us what you're doing? I'm inspecting the MCC beacon. So, you need to move your hands like this. Will you remember, Mac? Yeah, it's similar to opening a window. Alright, let's interrupt. I'm sorry, but you're interfering with my duties. Oh, this is good. Just make it a bit sexier, Mac. Miss Brute's line was a bit rough. You're interfering with my... The woman flexed as if she were advertising a new brand of slimming cream. Investigation. Was that good? Ma'am, we don't talk like that. That would be unprofessional. That was amazing. I'd even asked you to lower your voice to essential alto, but they moan about it because Miss Brute here has a different timbre. What's going on? Can you tell me what's going on? I'm really not up to date. These people are interfering with my duties. We're not interfering. We're doing field research for a biopic. It's making me uncomfortable. The model posed as a disciplined schoolgirl. It's making me uncomfortable. Can you help, Miss Gamedec? Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Side with with Tancred. Can't you see that she's had enough of you? Get her a break, and I'm sure you'll get better footage. Now shoo. You might be right. Come on, Mac. Let's step away and discuss the set design. I got 2 new ideas. Alright, boss. Thanks, pal. It was a huge Mobrium. I've never seen a machine like that before. The outranger controlling it was busy with the MCC beacon hovering in front of her. Ask about Ezra's death? How do you think Ezra died? I don't know, but it wasn't the beacon. Behemoth. The cat may know something. It had access to a part of my psyche, but from which I'm currently separated. Ask for access? I'd like to take a look at the beacon. Is that okay? MCC beacons are serious gear. Scanners, weapons, AI, you have to be authorized to tinker with them. Shit. The malfunctioning MCC beacon has been dragged down to the pavement. It was clumsily swaying on the drift field. Don't even think about it. Civilians can't mess with beacons. Can I not distract you somehow? Oh, Dr. Pax, I forgot about you. Goddamn arsehole. The man cursed under his breath and repeatedly tried to pull out a smoke with trembling hands. The cigarette fell to the ground. Fuck! He glared at the soaking wet tobacco as if deliberating whether it was worth picking up. He shrugged and pulled out another cigarette. Fuck all of this. He only noticed me once he lit up and inhaled deeply. He sent me a quizzical glance. Seems like you and the captain go way back. Yeah. What happened between you two? What's your story? He took a puff and exhaled through the nose. He ruined my career. It started over a year ago. I worked in the Warsaw City Central Hospital. I had a respectable position. 2nd degree specialization. We got the call to ABB, a bite or a sting. I went there with the team. Landed right by the barrier. An outranger led by the Palisades was scrambling. The victim was a civilian, the captain's partner. Michael Snowski. He took a long drag, staring into the distance. When he finally exhaled, a pale blue cloud enveloped him. Something bit his neck. He went into shock. Airways closing up. We call it firing up the engines for your trip to the other side. The outrangers kept shouting it was some kind of gadfly. Hypodermia bovis toxica. Typically all you need in such cases is a serum, an anti-shock kit and water. But something was off. A gadfly's bite leaves a swollen lump and 2 red patches around it. And there was a lump, but not much redness. and I saw the lump start to blacken, as if necrosis was already started. I'd only ever seen wolf spider bites progress that fast. What puzzled me was that there was only one bite mark, and spiders have two. I knew I'd have to cut off his head if it had been a wolf spider, or he'd die. Damn, that must have been tough, huh? He glanced at me, pressed his lips tightly, and slowly nodded. Spiders sometimes lose their pedipalps fending off wasps and such. I concluded it must have been a wolf spider crippled, and made my choice. Pedipalps? What are those? It's the part of the son of a bitch stabs into the victim to inject its digestive juices and other shit. Each spider has two. He took a puff and spoke in a whisper. I loaded this Michael guy into the ambulance, and he literally lost his head before the captain's eyes. He survived, but Belisade sued me. I checked later and found that Snosnowski had pheromone injections done to protect against insects, but not against arachnids. What injections are you talking about? He tried to hide his bewilderment. It's like a vaccine. Makes us exude pheromones to keep away nasties, behind the ABB. Everyone has a standard set done in childhood, but you have to have them to go past the barriers. Didn't you learn that in school? His eyes narrowed as he puffed a cigarette, as if trying to remember what he just said. The bite mark was destroyed by decapitation, and the blood from his head machine washed, so there was no solid leads in the investigation, and eventually the court ruled there wasn't enough evidence, so it went cold. But stench remained. I was let go, and since I wagged my tongue a bit too much, I couldn't find decent jobs anyway. So you see, that's our story. He looked at the cigarette butt smouldering between his fingers and tossed it away. I saved his boyfriend, was I right? I don't know. What's it like working at the bottom of the polis? It may sound dramatic, but I'd say like a knife to the throat. Shootouts happen here, and so I need to patch up gang war victims. There's a lot of valuables down here to fight over. Maybe this man got caught in the crossfire. He sighed, exhaling a cloud of smoke. I could help you with this green problem. He shifted his eyes, looked up at me. Really? You do something to make the captain leave? Provoke him to hit you or something? Or find something to discredit him? Alright, sounds like you're the one in the right. I'll try. Pax nodded, visibly relieved. Thank you. I'd like to use your Metabot. He squinted and asked without taking a cigarette out of his mouth, and what do you need it for? I'm conducting an investigation. I could use this equipment. And I could use some peace and quiet. I got a problem with a toad here. Besides, it's against protocol. He laughed. Something gurgled in his throat as he spoke his last word. I have a few questions and I wanted... Pax raised his hand. He took a pack of real nicotine cigarettes out of his pocket. From another, he recovered a lighter engraved with Asclepius's cane. He lit up lazily and took the smoke in, tasting it. I'm burning to help. Sadly, my fire is being doused by a certain problem. A hideous toad is roaming around here, interrupting my work. Okay, can I just not talk about this? What toad are you talking about? That's what they call the dumbasses in the green exoskeletons around here. The biggest one of these clowns is making my job difficult. I won't have time until you've sorted this out. Okay. Wait, what's this? Stinky trash can? The garbage can looks disgusting. When I got close to it, the stench hit my nostrils, which immediately made my throat swell. I had to suppress my gag reflex. I reached inside the can, trying not to touch its sticky edges. I failed. Just below the top layer, I reached some sticky liquid, probably the same stuff that ran down the sides of the bin. I plunged my hand deeper, pushing through things I didn't want to picture, the tips of my fingers finally reaching a warm metal object. I pulled something out of the metal and wiped the slime off. I looked closely at the object, but had no idea of its purpose. Do we get to keep the object, just in case we need it? We're gonna talk to you, right? What is it, girl? About that Pax guy? Oh, I guess we'll just provoke him to fight. I heard your exoskeletons are so ridiculously slow that kicking your canned asses is like shooting fish at a barrel. A mosquito buzz. You wouldn't know that sound, but believe me, whatever gets close splatters on my slow armor like a bug on a windshield. I understand you're the captain of these mosquitoes. You say die and they lay dead before their big scary master. I see you command your men, and honestly I'm surprised anyone listens to you. You're mosquitoes, that's another story. They're afraid. But thinking people? I warned you, smartass. This punch was so fast that even a fly wouldn't stand a chance. My teeth crackled, and pain spread across my jaw. Totally worth it. You punched my face. There you go, mission accomplished. He sucked the smoke into his lungs and coughed. Gonna have to quit at some point. I obtained some materials that'll help solve your problem. Great, I'm in your debt, Gamedec. I'd like to use your Metabot. I should ask what you need it for. He inhaled on the cigarette and opened a window that I couldn't see. Making some careless gestures, he breathed out the smoke, coughed slightly. But truth be told, I don't give a shit. I owe you one. There, you're authorized. I guess I could have just hacked into it anyway. The Metabot, the pillar of the healthcare service. They say doctors became obsolete because these things could easily replace humans. The device had 2 multi-joint limbs, but certainly had some more manipulators up its sleeves as well. The information panels kept flashing on the lid. It was a clunky old model, sturdy and trustworthy. Advertising drone? Walked up to the edge of the sidewalk. It was a good place for the ad drone to spot me. Bored with your existence? Not getting enough sunlight in the lower levels? Treat yourself to a big trip to the Ecologos bioestates and enjoy the warm sunshine for an entire day. The bioestates are located within ABBs. Eat natural meals, touch natural materials, discover exotic arch flora. The Ecologos bioestates are not responsible for any complications caused by intense contact with nature. Afraid? Learn more on our website. Well, drone, I need your resources. I am owned by Advert Pol X. I cannot give subsystem access to unauthorized persons. If you'd like to gain access to advertising drones and immerse yourself in the world of marketing, it's time for a change. Take the course prepared by the Wei Dao Social Happiness Controllers and reshape your life. The drone stopped talking and displayed a message. Wei Dao Corporation does not guarantee a refund in the event of a rejected application. Due to inadequate psychophysical predispositions or past conflicts with the law, please read the terms and conditions on our website. Analyze? It was a standard advertising drone. Even though it had operated the lowest level of Warsaw City, it was still in good shape. In between ads, I noticed the face of a DigiNet I once met. Hey, I know you're watching me. Greetings, Gamedec. Actually, I'm watching someone else. If you're not following me, then who? That handsome outranger. Ever since I regained my freedom, I like to watch different men. Honey Bunny is sweet and all, but so are the others. Did you see what happened here? I mean, you know how they got fried? You know I don't perceive the world the same way others do. I really don't understand it. It's unclear to me what happened here. It was as if the man fell from the sky, or no, more like, I can't explain. The taste of cherries, the greyness of dying, I don't know. I could use access to that drone, could you? Anything for you, Gamedec, here you go. I don't know what I'm doing with that, but I'm just making life difficult for everybody around me, I think. How about you two? The guy was skinny, wore massive glasses with secondary active pair on his neck, and some brightly glowing digital lenses in his eyes. He kept looking around impatiently as if looking for someone. Something beautiful, ugly, sensational, inspirational, that I didn't know. Yes, I'm a famous director. No, I don't have an important role for you, though visually you'd fit right in. Only important stuff, please, I'm busy. How long you been here? Well, a while. Still, should have come sooner. They say some guy fell from the sky. That's what I heard, at least. That's why we're here, actually. Guy falls from the sky, rangers arrive, Mac and I receive a word to come too. The big green Mobrium and the Outranger inside it. Can you tell me something about it? Tancred? Fascinating story. Could make for a great Hollow movie. We're getting ready to film a feature on her. That's why we're here. Problem is, she has therapeutic problems. Programs that activate upon feeling strong emotions. Then she becomes hard to talk to. Darkness, rain, the ruins of Warsaw below us. Great setting for a Hollow movie, right? Damn right. Don't have to change anything, really. But it's always been that way. The story matters more than the scenery. Effects, animation, makeup. It's all been easy to get that stuff done for so long the damn AIs can handle it. We have a shortage of stories that don't tickle some vain instinct, but you move to the core. Dialogues, characters. That's what I'm after. Alright. It was a gynoid, a human resembling a woman. Green lips and green makeup. Hard to say if it was real or illusory. Looks like she was posing for a micro camera. Couldn't see the device, so I couldn't say for sure. Who are you anyway? You don't know me? How embarrassing. Mac Bohr, actress on the first model to pose in a Mobrium. I thought my fame was, never mind. I'm getting ready for a role. We'll be reenacting the story of Tancred, one of the Greens. I hope I do well. What do you think about the Outrangers? Interesting question. Until now, I thought they were just nature-loving simpletons that hated technology. But get this. The famous troublemaker, Rama Matan of Sydneyland, is one of them. That guy knows how to party. See for yourself. I don't mean to offend you, but honestly, I don't know if I'm talking to a robot or a woman using a Mobrium. So could you... Excuse me, I'm human. My brain is sitting on the belly of this beautiful Mobrium. But I understand your confusion. This one's a per shell. They made it to order. It captures my real fantasies. Cool, right? I'm here because of the guy's death. Did you see, or do you know anything? No, Martin told me something cool was happening in Low City and that I could do research for my role, so we came. Poor guy was already dead. Can we use you on the body? Perform surgery using Metabot. Here we go. I glanced at the battery level. I had to choose wisely, as each of the use of the Metabot required energy. Let's see. What do we need? Bone scan? The device beeped and activated the scanners. Ezra's skeleton began to appear in one of the windows. He looked normal, no visible fractures or cracks. Because if he fell, he would have broken like his legs or his arms, something like that, when he hit the ground, right? Disinfection mode, why would we need that? Blood test? I selected the blood test option from the panel. Something weird inside the Metabot and the indicators lit up. One of the Metabot's arms approached Ezra's neck, pricked a vein. I heard the sound of pistons working. The display said that the blood had congealed, but it had been drawn and was being analysed. I need to check the results when they were ready. Brain scan? I select the brain scan option. The Metabot turned on something akin to a floodlight, casting a faint light, and began the procedure. The device scan reported the procedure was successful. I looked at the data. I had no idea what these abbreviations and numbers meant. Something above normal, something below, but what and why? I downloaded the data onto my walktail. I need a medical consultation. We have that. I gave a command. A thin metallic tentacle slid out of the Metabot's arm and up Ezra's nose. After a moment I heard the quiet, high-pitched sound of a surgical drill. The Metabot's tentacle slid out of the dead man's nose, sprayed the tip with disinfectant foam, and tucked it inside the apparatus. The dialogue box said that the device had collected the sample. Okay. Install the found battery? Oh, we got a battery. Force the battery. I braced and pushed with all my strength against the stuck piece of metal. It gave way, made a grinding noise, let off some sparks, and then something hissed. The Metabot explicitly protested and died. I killed it. My bad. So, your Metabot. He looked at the cigarette butt between his fingers and tossed it aside. The still smouldering embers kept falling toward the undercity like a fading red comet. What do you see? He lazily analysed the graph. No psychoactive substances and devitalization. That's a typical scene of someone lying on the couch while they're in game. I gave him a nod. Devitalization without a couch. And Relium. Moments before death. What was going on? I have no idea. Especially since my drone is dead. It just died. Nothing for you. Is there anyone else to talk to? Anything else to look at? We haven't talked to you again. We might be out of things to know. Yeah? How about that PAX guy? I decided to do a little vandalism. I destroyed the Metabot. I know I should be happy, but it's still eating me. Anyway, thank you. I didn't mean to, but you know, seeing I did it, I might as well get my accolades for it, right? The police use drones such as these. They scan dangerous and suspicious places. They say they're also able to detect mental constellation characteristics of sociopaths and potential murderers. Interesting. City network access helps, yeah. Let's try Rami. The right name was the key. I had to find it. I entered the name and got the drone's frequency. Use admin credentials. I hope I've done everything right. At that point, it seems so. I received a notification about being granted access. It worked. I gained access to the drone. I looked around. There were several cameras on the lampposts, but their lenses were smeared and their joints immobilized. One glance at the body confirmed what I feared. None of them could have seen what had happened. But if I gathered all their data, reflections of smooth surfaces, shadows, and so on, I'd be able to piece together what happened to Ezra. I decided to play with the machine. Okay. Take control. How are we playing with the machine? How's that going to help us? Out of curiosity. Ah, we can control it from here. And we download their information. Is that right? Oh, we're combining them together. Is that right? Come on, guy, help me out here. Nada. Not very helpful. This is all the places we could get information, I guess. Any of these spots we could see stuff, right? But that's it? I assume that's what it means, I don't really know. Oh, here we go. That joined. We're kind of going the wrong way, but the more information we have, the better, right? Who knows? Who knows what we could find out, in theory. Is there any more? Oh yeah, here's one. I mean, he died over here, so... This one or this one maybe saw something? Maybe? And there's this one over here too. Is this one? No. That one is though. I don't know if this is going to help, but it's going to take a while. If it helps, that's even better, but I don't know if it's going to. How is there so much to see? Is that it? I think that might be it. Leave the drone? Wait. Did that help at all? Gunshot hypothesis. Alright, we got all of these now. Bad neighborhood. Ezra's lying down when the shot was fired. I believe this is the shot was fired after Ezra's death. I don't know exactly. Let's check the accident one. Ezra was flying around using anti-G. Maybe he was looking for something. He might have found it, but he fell after his harness broke. He didn't break his bones though. So he was already dead when he fell, probably. Ezra's brain scan suggested that when he died his body was devitalized. What are these two? Game hypothesis. Was killed with a weapon from a game. Inside a game. So he's playing like a VR game. He died playing the VR game and then fell. The fall didn't kill him though, he would have broken his bones. And then someone shot him when he was on the ground. Or maybe someone didn't shoot him when he was on the ground. Oh yeah, maybe they must have. Those sound legit to me. But having said that, Something shiny is lying on the ground. There's a key to a vehicle. Oh, it's this fucking thing. But we already damaged the stuff in here. Because I got impatient. Oh well. This is how things can change, I guess. Because you're an idiot and break stuff like a twat. Sidewalk graffiti was not a common sight. This one was made with permanent paint, so the colour stayed vivid despite attempts at heavy cleaning. The end of iteration is near. Was it really? This is how war drivers mark the city's system control networks they'd opened. These places are described as interfering. It has something to do with harmonic oscillation. I didn't quite get it, but I knew how to look. I gained access to devices connected to the City Reistic network, a bizarre name. I issued some commands, and the system displayed all surveillance drones within the range. Okay. The Rammy, the Pantalon, and the Outranger. Okay. Good to know. I mean, we've already activated one of those. That was the Rammy one. I don't know what we did with these camera things. We didn't seem to gain anything from that. Did we? I think I might have done my dash. I'm inclined to think the game thing might be right, though. Because he didn't die from the fall, and he didn't fry from the gunshot. Let's roll with it. We have 45 minutes in. I'm curious. No overdose. I mean, he had an accident. He got high and then crashed. Absolutely. Alright, we're gonna roll with this hypothesis because I'm curious. Do we get any more of these? Oh, wait. Did we go... Oh, my bad. Did we click on this one? How did Ezra die? The beacon didn't shoot Ezra. The shot was fired after Ezra's death. He got high and crashed. Ezra was killed with a weapon from a game, or he died inside a game. Alright, let's go with it. The game hypothesis. No data, no data, no data. What do we do now? The man had a keen look and a mysterious smile. He came over to me and his smile widened. Oh, here you are. I've been looking all over for you. Sorry it took so long. Excuse me, where are my manners? Senior Specialist John Narber. I'm the insurer of the deceased. A fenced-off crime scene is a small area. Where were you that you couldn't find me? Did you know that if we look at our body's molecules, questions like where or when begin to lose their meaning? Interesting, isn't it? Either way, I'm sure you've already found your answers, but they may be incomplete, but we should probably check Ezra's psycho scan, don't you think? It so happens I have it right here. It was the first thing I did when I got here. I want to give it to you. Let's call it a reward. Let's just sign the so-called paperwork and you go home, okay? I'm not signing anything. Huh, that's a pity. I understand you wish to require a scan on your own. In that case, you should try your luck with a drone, a metabot, or this advertising shit. I suggest you hurry up, and in case you have any problems, or change your mind, remember that my office still stands. Feel free to come back. What do we need? Gain access to the body. Get Ezra's psycho scan. Well, we already broke the medical bot. I mean, I don't think we can... Maybe we can use the advertising bot or something like that. I don't know. Here you go. I issued a command to perform a psycho scan. The drone obeyed and moved toward the body. There you go. We already hacked all the drones around here. No problem. Do it ourselves. Screw that guy. Doing my own work. Hook me up, Robo. I wonder whether a dead brain could give me any relevant information. Oh. Bombard Tancred with information? No, I'm good. Get back to your apartment to read Ezra's psycho scan. Oh, shit. My apartment? Where the hell's my apartment? I'm sure we'll figure it out. Oh. You're already here, brilliant. Did you find what you're looking for? Perfect, perfect, now be on your way. Mention that he seems nervous. Why are you so jumpy? I'm not jumpy, I just want to fly home. As do you, is that not right? Isn't that right? Go on, quickly now. I wonder what his deal was. So what, are you leaving? We're still talking, though I'm being rushed. She looked straight through Naba and sent me a glance that showed disgust and concern. People do say that Gamedec's have many work-related disorders, but hey, no judgment, we also struggle. I opened my mouth to speak, but something suddenly tugged at my arm. My legs buckled, the world spun, and I felt a rush of heat in my shoulder. Well, I'm dead. Hey, can you hear me? Are you okay? My shoulder was numb and swollen. Somebody applied gel dressing to the spot where my sleeve was ripped. What happened? Did you see anything? Not really. It's a gunshot wound. I treated it, but I didn't see the shooter. I did. Venom saw somebody run into the bar, but they were far away, so he didn't get a good look. We should have guarded the fucking entrance. John Naba. We were talking when it happened. He might have seen something, or is he? Sorry, who? The victim's insurance agent, a bald guy in a suit. He was hanging around here, remember? He must be in shock. There wasn't anyone like that here. I'm sure I'd remember a bald guy in a suit hanging around. I'll go look for the shooter in the bar. Just be careful. It may look like a scratch, but the shockwave of a subsonic bullet is no joke. Your deltoid muscle's really swollen. Subsonic? Did you hear a bang? Neither did I. That means it's supersonic, doesn't it? Not subsonic. Aww. You just finished the preview version of the game deck. Part of the beta version of the game. Well, that looks pretty cool. I mean, it didn't really show that much, but I like the whole deducing thing. I'm into that, as you probably know. And you are probably too. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this one for when it comes out. But yeah. Oh, September 16th. There you go. That's not too far away. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for getting out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.